Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome today to this webinar from rainy Oslo. So today I'm here to talk about a bit unknown part of our business, which is how we work together with our customers in project and customization. Just gonna wait one more minute to see if some more people joined. I hope everybody had a good holiday season, at least here in Europe with the Easter, and I'm now ready to face spring. No, I think I can start a bit slowly here. Just here. See here. Yeah, this webinar is scheduled for 30 minutes. I think we might do it a bit quicker today. It's not too long presentation. You can ask questions in the chat window if you want to, and I will come to those at the end. I will not answer them while they're being written, but I will do that in the end to go through them. This webinar will be recorded, so you will find the recording on YouTube and on the Radiocrafts video channels. So you will find this later if you want to share it with some colleagues or go through it again. So Radiocrafts is, I think, most known for their standard RF modules in different frequency bands and different protocols. And I'm not going to focus on that today. We also do offer firmware licenses when customers go from the 10,000 up in hundreds of thousands. They often want to go with their own chip solution and license the firmware from us. So for the high volume customers, we also do support that. But on the right, you see the two other parts, which is the customized module business that we do and the turnkey projects. They are slightly different, as I will explain today. So they're not quite the same. But this is something we maybe do not promote too much, but this is still a key part in terms of our revenue and our business model. 90% of our customers go to the left, so you use the standard modules. So that is the most common path, but still it's an important last 10% which go to the right side. Customized module. For me, that differentiates from turnkey project is that we still deliver more or less a standard module at the end to our customer, but there's something specific about this module which makes it not a standard module anyway. Often this starts with the customer having some sort of request for a non-standard feature. It could be that they want us to implement a protocol they used in earlier system for backward compatibility. It could be a specific use case which makes us prioritize and set up the module a bit different than we do when we want to cover. In our module, we try to make them generic. So that means that the standard modules do suit many different use cases. But in case if you want to say that, okay, now I only want this use case. Let's just take the use case of smart irrigation, for instance. You might want to see that in that case you have battery operated devices, so power consumption is important. maybe it's not important that the devices can move around a lot, because in smart irrigation the devices are fixed, and also you might not have a smart irrigation system of 1,000 devices. So for that you want to make the module more targeted and optimized for that specific use case. It can also be custom hardware. We have customers who want to have specific hardware solutions, or cover, for instance, different frequency ranges. We of course cover the standard ranges used in around the world, like 423, 868, 915, and 2.4 GHz. But there are also local bands which might just apply to 1 or 2 countries, which we don't offer as a standard feature. It could be also other things like adding a power amplifier to extend range and stuff like that, which you also get requests on doing. So all in all, there's a lot of different reasons why customers contact us. But we cannot work with all customers on NRE project because we don't have the bandwidth for that. So for us, it's important to differentiate between the different projects. And we have to look at what is the magnitude of change that the customer is requesting from us. And sometimes the customer wants something which we can fix in 2 hours. In that case, it's very easy for us to comply to that change, and we probably won't even, the customer won't have NRE for that either, because it's not easy to implement. Sometimes we have to build a specific hardware, which is of course a much bigger project, and we can also have huge firmware projects doing something very specific for a customer, which so the magnitude of change is important. Here it's a bit digital in my graph, but of course it can also be somewhere in between. Also, we have to look at the customer size, the company and the project, and to see to look at the potential of this project, because we have a lot of startups coming to us wanting us to do some development, ideally for free, and of course a startup which haven't proven their business yet, it's hard to do something for free for them. So it's about it's a lot about believing in the customer project as well. So based on those 2 axes, I should say, we often end up in 4 different areas here. If it's a large change and a small customer, we probably won't offer anything. We'll say we can, of course, we have different design partners that we work with, which probably could help, which know our modules pretty well, but still it might be a no offer from our side. If it's a big project, like a big upper right, big project and a big customer, and a huge change for that customer, then obviously we have to design an NRE project and end up with a customer specific module. If there are smaller changes, we can evaluate them by looking at the customer and looking at that actual change. Is this a change that many customers are requesting? Then we might just say that we want to. Now you're the 4th customer who asked for this, so we are now decided to put this into the next release of the standard product. So wait 3 months and you will have it for free. That is one possible solution. Other one is that now this is something one customer wants, and then you end up in the upper left corner, so that we can make it for a specific customer, but then later we can integrate it into standard product. So this is a bit how we meet these, and this is our kind of flow chart. So we have to talk to the customers first, evaluate their request, and then basically decide what to offer. If it's a NRE, which is end of a customized product, or if you just do it in a standard product without any NRE, it all depends on the size of the change. Yeah, so some typical requests we have had before is to cover some specific bands, as I mentioned. We have a lot of the modules we have has a UART interface, so there has been specific requests on that UART interface. We had one who wanted didn't want the transparent UART, but wanted a start and a stop byte for each. So we added that as a specific features. We have optimized a lot in the RIM network for specific customers. So, but then I don't think that we can say that it's one type of request we get. It's a very large variation on the different requests we do get. The modules we have most commonly customized is the MBUS 3, MBUS 4, and the RIM module. Which we still also can customize the RSC232 and other modules as well. But those are the ones we have most often customized. In RIM, we also try to, because there's so many degrees of freedom that you can tune the module for different use cases. We also try to allow the customer to do their own customization, which means that the customer have a lot of parameter he can tune the module on with his own application. This is an advantage and a challenge, of course. If the customer can customize a lot himself, that means that it's also dangerous that he could do something wrong. But still, it also allows us to kind of customize for a much larger number of customers, because they can do this adjustments themselves. Yeah. So what's the benefit of customer-specific module? First of all, we start off with a finished. Often, if we do the customization and firmware, we have the hardware ready already. So, and also maybe 90-95% of the firmware is also ready and tested and verified. So that means that we can get this product quick to the market. So quick time to market is number one advantage of this, and also the fact that it's a proven solution. So that means that this hardware might already have been produced in many hundred thousands of modules. So it's already verified, maybe even certified. So that gives you a huge advantage in the fact that it's a proven solution. So it lowers your risk, and also the fact that you can then get exactly the functionality that you want. So you don't have to make compromises and make your system different just to fit the standard modules out there. That's also a big benefit of having this customer-specific module. Turnkey projects are a bit different than our customized module. Normally, it's fewer turnkey project, and they're bigger. Because normally the radio module is always part of a larger project. It includes antenna, you have power solution or a battery, maybe you have some sort of sensor or actuators. In a smart meter, you will have some sort of metrology, some metering systems. In a smart irrigation system, you will have some sort of valves and sensors, and so forth. So there's always other functionality in a system. Or very often there's some second MCU which handles the sensor parts as well, and there could be other parts as well. And often we see customers asking Radiocrafts to develop the complete electronics around the module. So not just doing the module design. Often we can do a customized module for this project as well, but they want us to also to to build the whole system. So why do they ask us for that? Because there's plenty of consultants out there. Of course, we know we are very much experts in the system also close to the Radiocrafts module, meaning that the power supply, the batteries, the antennas, and these critical parameters, which are very closely tied to the module, is something we know very well and have a lot of experience with. Also, we hear that customers are kind of a bit afraid of the RF in general, so that's why they want some RF experts to deal with this. And sometimes they have RF experts, but they just don't have the bandwidth to do this project together with the other projects they're already doing. So they are. It's a variety of reasons why they choose to use Radiocrafts for these kind of turnkey projects. So why is turnkey projects a good solution? Well, first of all, as I mentioned, it builds on our experience about how to use the module in a product. So again, faster market is often a key, and also to get a proven solution here. These kind of projects are always based on a model with recurring revenue, meaning that we either design in the module or some sort of firmware license at the end as well. That means that we don't have to have a huge profit on the development itself. And what we also see is that the turnkey projects we see, I was doing some calculations early this morning, and I see that they have a 3 times higher success rate than a standard module, meaning that we identify a lot of projects using standard module, and maybe only 30% reach volume production. While when we do turnkey projects, we typically see a 90% success rate. So that means that doing a turnkey project gives a very high probability of going into volume production. And that's what we all want, both our customers and Radiocrafts, of course. Some examples of what we have done for turnkey projects. We did an industrial sensor network product where we made a specific project, which then turned into a customized module. We do a smoke detector where we did a custom protocol, backward compatibility, and we did a specific hardware as well. We have made a water meter plug-on, meaning radio that you plug on to smart water meters, or to water meters to make them smart, I should say, where we have done turnkey project with specific hardware and also customer-specific protocol. We have done nurse call systems with a specific hardware again and a specific protocol based on customer request. These are just some of the projects we have been involved with, and which I could talk about. So how do we kind of get into a dialogue with the customers on these subjects? That's not some customers have asked, why don't you have like a form we can just fill in? But what we have seen is that it's the level of involvement from the customer varies a lot. So how much does the customer wants to be involved? Does he want it to be like a joint project, or does he want us to take the whole responsibility? We have some just want a specific firmware, some want specific hardware. So it's just a huge degree of freedoms in these projects, and that's why we think that it's a much better approach that when customers have specific requests and see that no standard modules fill this request, we're just much better off by them contacting us and basically having a dialogue in what is it they want, what is it they need, what do they What are the projects is typically what we want to know about as well, to understand not only the potential of the project, but also to understand what's important in this project. This is something not always easy to get from a customer, is what is the specific feature of the wireless system, which is the key to our customer having huge success. Sometimes it's the battery lifetime, sometimes it's the size of the product that's important for them to succeed. Sometimes it's the ease of installation. So we have to understand in each to understand the project, to also and discuss with the customer to understand what is really important for this project. And then when we understand that, we can also then start to talk about the technical requirement and what the goal and the vision of the customer is. And then we will see if this is something we can offer. Sometimes they ask of things that is out of our competence. For instance, we don't do mechanical housing, so that's will always be somebody else who do that part. I think the key or the most crucial part of a turnkey project is the antenna, the RF antenna, because it's very difficult, or I guess it's the most difficult part to do, and we see a lot of customers don't have that expertise to do this. And if we do of course recommend using standard antenna, which might not be the smallest one and might not be the most integrated into the product, but if they may do an industrial solution, I don't think many industrial customer would mind having an antenna kind of sticking out of the product. But when you go to consumer products and more these kind of things, you typically want an integrated antenna hidden in the system, and that makes it a bit challenging because you have to kind of tune the antenna to the product, to the size of the ground plane, to the enclosure around the product. So it makes it a bit more challenging, and very often you also have to go to an electronic chamber to test this as well. So RF antenna is a specific knowledge, and we do have this knowledge, and since we are typically helping designing in a module with recurring revenue there, we don't have to take the huge sum that an antenna design company would do. But of course, if we want to design an antenna for you, we have to set up some resources for some weeks, and that will obviously be some sort of NRE cost involved in that. But the antennas is one of the big reasons for customers come to us. So I'm going to try to summarize a bit here. Again, 90% of our customers use our standard modules, and we are happy with that, and the customers are happy with that. But sometimes we do see customers who have requests which cannot be fulfilled with the standard modules. So then we do offer also customized modules, meaning that we can customize a standard module for you specifically. Then if this becomes a custom module for you as a specific customer, that means that it will typically have a different part name indicating who this product is for. And we have a very standardized method of producing this module, so it's very easy for us to make a variant and then produce this variant. So it will then be a customer-specific module through our entire production and test system, and we can do that for relatively small volumes. In addition, we also offer turnkey solutions where we can help the customers do their hardware and their design. But of course, it's a bit limited how many turnkey turnkey projects we can support at one time. So it will be very much depending on what other projects we're busy on and how much resources we have available. So this is not something we can guarantee to all customers, but we are open for that discussion. What we think is the most important success factor for these projects is the communication. Very good communication between the customer and us to understand what is it they expect, what is their and what's the most important thing for them, and this is a key to making these projects a success. Yes. Then there's an open session for Q&A. I don't think, as this is not a very technical presentation with a lot of technical details, I wasn't expecting too many questions here, but I will leave this open for a minute to see if there's anybody who have some question around this. So far, I don't see any questions. No, so if there's not any questions, I will just say that thank you for listening in. And again, if you have a project which you think needs a customized module, or if you need a turnkey project, please contact us on sales.radiocrafts.com, and you also contact us through our webpage. And we will then be able to open a dialogue with you and hopefully find out if we can offer a customized module or a turnkey project to your specific project. So thank you much for listening in, and have a nice day.